nice to have a electric bill for most of the year that's $31.50. Fits in well with the plan for renovation of this whole place. When you're crunching your numbers for building a home, or in my case for doing a major renovations, it's like a decision you make about what kind of countertop to buy or what kind of trim to put on. The difference between paying for electricity that way and paying through the traditional grid system is that after the 10 or 15 year return on investments are with, you still have it and you're making money now. It covers most of the year. It doesn't cover the period after they do the true up in January and February and most of March. And when I talk about the true up, if you produce more than you use, you're banking hours. I began banking hours last year in April. What they do is at the end of the calendar year, they zero those out. And then you start with zero in January. The problem with that is that January and February and March are the months when you need them the most. If the true up date for me were moved to the 1st of April, say, it would just help the return on investment for the project. I would try to size my system so that it covered my need. For those who may be considering going with solar for ranch use like this for the ranch headquarters, I don't see why you wouldn't want to consider it, especially if you're looking at living there for a long time. You're looking at a long-term investment in your operation. It makes a lot of sense to do that sort of thing. Ask around to people that have done it. There are people around, and see what they think of it. Ask them pointed questions about the cost. I guess I would really encourage it.
It's an I-90 visitor center, the first place visitors to Wyoming find once they've come out of the Black Hills. The building has 50 kilowatts of photovoltaic panels, and it has architectural features that allow it to be energy efficient. It's basically heated and cooled by a system of ground-based heat pumps. In the summertime, the heat that's coming in has to be removed from the building. The removal of that heat takes place with a liquid-based system. Pumps that are powered by the solar panels take that liquid and run through the ground. It heats up the ground and it cools down the water. In the wintertime, that liquid gets heated up because the summertime heat has been stored there. This is an example of what the walls and ceiling are made out of. It's called a SIPS panel. There's very, very little heat that's transferred through the wall. There is a series of windows at night. The two window sets can be opened, the bottom one for pulling air in, the top one for letting air out, so that when it opens in the morning, not only is the air cooled, but the walls, the floor, the ceiling, they are part of what keeps the building cool. The windows are big on the south because we want to pick up solar gain in the wintertime, but we also want people to see the beautiful views from this remarkable site. The roof overhang shades the upper portion of the window, and then there's an intermediate set of shades that shades the bottom portion of the window. Then when the sun is low in the wintertime, it actually comes into the windows to store solar heat for gradual release in the wintertime night. We have electrically operated shades that come down, which adds considerably to the installation value for the tourists that come here and get their first handshake of Wyoming, to see that it's an innovative, high-tech place with all the interest and activity of Wyoming displayed in it is a big opportunity.
Installing the system was a 3-day affair. It was not intrusive. Installation was a walk in the park. Like a lot of people, I've been looking at solar and have been considering it in the context of break-even calculation, and finally decided that the break-even calculation of 10 years or 12 years is not really what I should be looking at. It was my decision to take it from the point of view of how much money is the system going to save me if I install solar, and what would the yield be? The minimum yield that you're going to achieve is going to be around 6%. which is going to be 3 times the rate that you'd get on a CD in the market today with any bank in the country. For those people who are retiring in the not too distant future, the benefit of solar is cash in your pocket every month. Utility costs are going to go up, and if you've locked in your utility cost with a solar system, the yield that your system is generating is going to become more valuable over time, not less. It's as good an investment as anything in the stock market.